As you recall in the previous training video, we learned what groups are. They're a way to organize information in a table here according to specific criteria. Well, in the last training video we did a single criteria. In this training video we're going to learn to do multiple criteria grouping. Let's get started. I'm going to change views here from the resource usage view. Come over here and right click on the collapse view bar and come down here and select task usage. It has a list of all their tasks, and then underneath each task a list of all the resources assigned to that task. So what I want to do is I want to group these by critical or non-critical tasks. So I'm going to have two categories after they're grouped. And then within those categories, after they're grouped, I want to have a second criteria that says go ahead and categorize them by start dates. So I'm going to try to keep it simple here so you at least get simple understanding of what it means to do multiple criteria grouping. So to get started, all I have to do is come up here, click on the project menu, go down to group by, and then over and down to customize group by. So the first thing I'm going to group this view by is click in the drop down arrow, there it is, group by, and I'm going to go ahead and type in C, get to the C's, and then scroll down to critical. And then after it groups them into critical or non-critical or those categories, then I want it to be able to group by, hit the letter S, type in T, by the start, and then click off in a blank area. I'm going to go back to the start field here, and I want to be able to define my group intervals. In other words, clicking on the button, it says I can define that by each value, or say I want to do it by months. Does that make sense? Because you have your tasks that are beginning on different days. Hopefully everyone has its own day that it begins. None of them are starting at the same time. If they did, then once they group them by critical and non-critical, then if there were two starting at the same time that were in the critical category, then they would be grouped together. But if it's just months, then what will happen is anything in the critical category, after it groups it by critical, then I'll say, okay, anything in the same month will be grouped together. So we'll keep the months grouped together underneath the critical category. Click OK. And then when we're ready, come down here and click OK, and there we go. So we have our critical, no, and then we have our criticals, yes. So again, critical tasks that if you delay them by 1 day, it's going to affect the end date of the project. And then the non-criticals, if you delay them by a day, they won't affect or bump out the end project date. At least maybe a day, but if you start adding more and more days and delaying these tasks, eventually they'll affect the end project date. But the non-criticals are, I would say, not an immediate threat to the end project date. So after it puts them or categorizes them by critical, non-critical, and then critical, then within those categories the next grouping is by month. So everything here that's non-critical is only in August, but down here the tasks that are critical are not only in August, but also we have those grouped in September, again by month. Pretty cool. Now after I go ahead and customize this, if I like it, I might as well save it. So you can do that by coming up here, clicking on the project menu, going down to group, and then going over and down to customize group by, and go ahead and click save, and then give it your fancy name. Click OK. And let's verify that it's been saved by coming back up here, clicking on the project menu, going down to group, and there it is, my spiffy. Or you can come over and down and select more groups, and there it is, my spiffy custom critical groups. And again, if you're done with your custom grouping here, you can either come up here on the standard toolbar, click on the drop down arrow and select no group, or again you can do it the long way, project, group to no group. Either way will work. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.